3, 2, 1, clap. Sweet.
Nailed it.
All right, so
What is
episode?
How do you dab? I can't remember.
No, you got it. This arm goes like that.
Oh wait, okay.
And then here. Yeah, there you go.
Make sure that makes the video.
I did that in a video for the spiel. I did it because we were doing a Mr. Rogers theme episode. And they were like, Rob, go outside and come back in and do something Mr. Rogers would do. So I went outside and I came in and I was like, I know for a fact Mr. Rogers did that.
I know for sure that mofo was a dabber.
He was a dabber.
Walk through the door.
Walk through the door?
Yeah. And then do a Mr. Rogers.
So then there's people that post constantly, oh my god, my phone stopped answering.
I'm going to do a Mr. Rogers thing, and I know for a fact he does this. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
All right, Severance, Season 2, Episode 8, Sweet Vitriol. I'm going to do my little recap, because this is a shorter episode. A lot of people were upset about it, so we're going to keep this video like nice and tight. So I've done my my recap. I'm hoping it's going to be right around 2 minutes. All right, welcome back to Severance, Small Town Nightmares Edition, where Harmony Cobel decides that revisiting her sketchy past in the ether-ridden ruins of Salt's Neck is a good idea. Spoiler alert, it's not. She kicks things off by dropping in on her old buddy Hampton at the local sad diner where the coffee's weak, but the trauma is strong. They reminisce about their super fun childhood working as unpaid labor for Lumen. Nostalgia? Not quite. More like shared PTSD with a side of resentment. Cobel needs a lift to her estranged Aunt Sissy's house, but she's convinced Lumen is watching her every move. So naturally, she opts for the ultra sneaky method of hiding in the truck flatbed like she's smuggling herself across state lines. Subtle. Once they get to Sissy's place, aka Salt's Neck's most unwelcoming Airbnb, things go about as well as expected. Sissy is thrilled to see Cobel, and by thrilled, I mean furious. She's still ride or die for Lumen, but Cobel is more interested in unearthing old secrets, particularly those locked away in her late mother's bedroom. One argument and a key hunt later, Cobel sneaks in, has a full-on emotional breakdown, and, because this town just oozes healthy coping mechanisms, puts her mom's old breathing tube in her mouth for maximum sadness immersion before passing out. Hampton wakes her up hours later, and because no trip down memory lane is complete without inhaling industrial-strength brain poison, they both take a hit of ether, share a kiss, and make some questionable life choices. But Cobel's not done snooping. She digs through an old storeroom and discovers the plot twist, trademark. A notebook hidden inside her childhood trophy that proves she, not Jane Eagan, actually invented the severance procedure. Turns out Lumen stole her work and gave credit to the world's creepiest CEO dynasty. Classic. Sissy, being the most unhelpful person alive, tries to set the notebook on fire because nothing says, I love Lumen like arson. But Cobel snatches it away just in time. Before she can celebrate her intellectual property victory, Hampton warns her that trouble, aka a mysterious approaching car, is on the way. He stays behind to deal with it while Cobel peels out of town like a fugitive. Just as she's leaving, she finally answers a call from Devin, who drops a bombshell. Mark's been reintegrated. Devin hands the phone to him, and Cobel, fresh off this emotional roller coaster, demands to know everything. Roll credits.
Yeah.
So this was, by a lot of people's standards, this was a very slow-moving, boring episode.
I'm not gonna lie, it was the slowest for me this season that I've watched.
Right.
Yes.
So it's not my favorite, but it was very eye-opening because now we understand Cobel a lot better, I think.
Yes.
We understand where she came from. We understand that she is obviously very, very intelligent because she created all the blueprints, all the codes. She created the overtime contingency. She even specifies overtime contingency in the Glasgow block.
Yes.
Those
she
were her
created
ideas.
Severance.
Yeah.
She created the title of the show. Yeah.
And then Lumen decided to steal it from her, which, I mean, that's basic. I assume that's what they do. Obviously, they stole, like, Gemma's life, so that's what they do.
And Mark's happiness.
They just ruining people's lives left and right. So in my all-knowing way of going through these episodes, for me, it works best if we just run through it, like top to bottom.
Do it.
So at the end of, I don't remember which episode it was, she's like asleep in her car and she sees the Salt's Neck sign, but she
Yes.
turns around and goes back. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing she changed her mind.
I think
Actually,
that's
hold
when
on.
we then see her.
Is that when she's
Yeah.
running away from Helena?
I think
And then she
this
gets
is
in her
later. I think she decides not to go, and then the thing with Helena sends her over the edge. And now she's like, yeah, no, I'm for sure going to Salt's Neck.
Okay. Yeah, because she needed
That's
that.
how I
like-
perceived it anyways. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, she went there to like kind of to get the closure, but also I think she was going there. She was obviously looking for that notebook. So it starts with Cobel. She's in Salt's Neck in her hometown. She's brushing her teeth, which to me shows that she was. How far is Salt's Neck from where she was? Like, was
I
she
have
just
no idea.
living in her
It's
car
in the
for
middle
a while,
of
or was it a
nowhere.
long
It looks
trip?
like a village from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like, it doesn't look like a real place. I mean, I don't
It's
think
from
it is.
so long ago.
Yeah, but it's so barren and like creepy that it
Yeah,
reminded
yeah.
me
It's
of
like
it,
it's like a port town is what it looks like. And there's no trade going on or whatever, they're kind of shut down, which is essentially what happened because Lumen came in, Lumen started there, and then, or at least put a factory there, got all the people working and everything, and then just stripped all its resources and then left. Which is essentially what a virus does.
Sounds about right.
So yeah, she's brushing her teeth. You see this like homeless dude sitting off to the side, and then her phone starts vibrating. It's Devin calling probably from the very end of the last episode, and that's probably that same
Yes.
phone call. And then she leaves there. She goes to the diner. She walks inside, and this is where she runs into a waiter, and you can obviously tell that she has like some kind of past with him. It turns out that's Hampton, the guy that she's going to do this little traveling with here for a little bit.
Why did I perceive that Hampton was her brother?
I don't know, because they kiss later in the episode.
I know, but the whole time I was sure that was her brother. Like,
I mean,
that's
I
weird.
guess it kind of makes sense up to the
Yeah.
kiss. It makes sense because they're bickering a little bit.
I'm like,
they
are
worked-
Hampton and
They
Cobel,
worked in.
Cobel related. They just seem like the kind of people that
Oh.
would then kiss each other.
It's like a Luke
Related.
and Leia situation.
Hey, Luke didn't know. No one knew.
I totally thought that was her brother. So when they did kiss, I was like, yeah, sounds about right. For how weird everyone in the town is. Sorry,
Yeah,
I skipped it in there.
No worries. Yeah, I mean, if you've seen the episode, you know what
Yeah,
we're
they
going to
know.
get to anyway.
You
so
know. Yeah.
don't watch this if you haven't seen the episode. I don't know how many times I have to say it.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, she goes to the diner, and then Hampton, he is with he brings a dude some coffee, and he like puts down a bottle next, like on his table, and obviously he's the local ether dealer.
Didn't even know you could like do ether until this episode. Also.
Well, that just goes to show like what type of people we are, because
Yeah, that has to be like an old timey drug, though, right? Like.
I would think so, yeah, because
Yeah.
like especially huffing it.
Yeah. Yeah. For
yeah, I don't-
the good stuff.
I
Don't
don't
do
know
drugs.
much about. I don't know much about the drug world, so I don't know
Yeah.
if it's a thing that's going on now or not. But yeah, so apparently, like that seems like a thing that goes on in Salt's Neck is like ether is like the drug of choice for the community, I guess.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah, well, at least that guy.
Yeah.
And then they're using it for whatever, like pain relief or just to get high or whatever. And I'm sure that homeless dude that was out when Cobel was out there brushing her teeth, I'm sure he was high on it.
Yeah.
So Cobel comes in and sits at the diner. This is where she talks with Hampton. I guess you don't know that he's Hampton just yet because you just think he's some waiter. Because she says his name much later in the episode. But this is where we establish that they have a past and a relationship. You can just tell by the way they're talking to each other. And then she tells him to meet me at the factory. Now, apparently, because like she says, it's been, she even introduces herself like, Harmony Cobel, well, flip my toboggan or whatever
Yeah.
she says.
They
'Cause I
kind
guess
of
that was-
reminded me of like Minnesota. I don't know what is the like correct plural for people that are from Minnesota.
Minnesotans?
Minnesotans?
Yeah.
That's what the accent kind of reminded me of.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she says to meet me at the factory, and then he goes. So it's like there's obviously something there, because like if it's somebody you haven't seen in a while and you don't like them or you don't want to do anything for them, like they're like, meet me somewhere, you're like, no,
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah,
but obviously
I'm
they
doing
have
things.
enough history to where she's like, meet me over here, and he's like, fine, whatever, because he initially said no, and then he goes anyway. So they meet at the factory, and then Cobel. That's where Cobel asks him to drive her to Sissy's house, who is Cobel's aunt.
Yes.
So like, why did they have to leave the diner? Why could she not have said, just let's go from the diner?
I don't know. Maybe they are worried about being tracked from the diner.
Well, she says that's why she has to have him take her, she has to have him take her in the back of his truck, because she's like, they're watching.
Yes.
Obviously, they're watching Sissy's house.
Lumen. It seems like they have cameras everywhere. I mean, literally all the way
Well,
out.
I
to
think
Ultimate. Yeah.
I don't know if it's cameras, but I think it might be like some people actually watching the place, because that place doesn't seem very techy. Like
No.
they barely have electricity.
Nah. Yeah.
If you look around, like it looks like nothing has electricity.
Yes. Yeah.
In that whole entire place. But yeah, so they go out to the factory, and then this is where we find out that they both worked in the ether mill when they were young, and Hampton is like real upset because he's like, basically it was just child labor that they were getting away with.
Yeah. And also dangerous, because assumingly that's what her mom died of, Miss Cobell's mom died of, is the ether poisoning. Right?
I mean, I would assume so, yeah, because I'm sure everybody in the town worked in the factory.
Right. Yeah.
And then Hampton and Harmony, when they were younger, were in there, and he even says later on, he says after they get a little bit high later in the episode, he's like, "You ready for a 10-hour shift in the ether mill?"
Yeah.
So they would work for long hours, and I would say around the time they were 8, because that's when Harmony, after she takes a hit of that ether that's on the rag, she's like, "I haven't done that since I was 8." Which that's a long time.
Yeah, that's young. Yeah.
So then he agrees to take her. She hides in the bed of the truck, and then while they're on their way, Devin calls again, and she ignores it, obviously. And then basically this is where the meat of the episode happens, and it's really all of it just takes place at her aunt's house.
Yes.
So I'm just going to run through this. If we have something to say about it, throw out whatever you want to say. If you have any thoughts on stuff.
Yeah.
Because again, I want to keep this one short because there's not a whole lot
I know.
that happened in
I
this
feel ya.
episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so before they head out, Hampton mentions that he says Sissy still lives in the 9 and that she's a pariah. Obviously, nobody likes her, when they drive out there, she lives on a peninsula. Like, literally it's just a road that leads out to just a rocky bluff, I guess, or whatever that's called. And then she's just out there in a little house by herself.
Yep.
Cobel notices at this point, she notices that Hampton is high on ether, and she brings it up to him. She's like, "You're higher than a falcon on something." I don't remember.
One of those
something
weird
like
euphemisms that only people in this universe use. Yeah.
Right. I think it's only her because she says all these weird things.
Yeah.
She goes up to the house. Sissy doesn't want her there, or Hampton. And then Sissy mentions that Hampton is high. And then Cobel is like, "You introduced him to it." So I guess he and Sissy had some kind of relationship, and she introduced him to getting high. So it would be my understanding that maybe Sissy is the one who taught both of them about getting high on ether, or maybe him, and then he showed Cobel.
Yeah.
Then Cobel goes upstairs. She tries to get into a room. The door's locked. She comes downstairs and she asks for the key. And then she's like, "Has anybody been by, or has anybody called?" And then Sissy says that Mr. Drummond has called, which I'm guessing is just to let us know that it's his job to just find out what everybody's doing. What'd you say?
I was going to say if they're connected in some way, maybe.
Who?
Like Drummond and Sissy.
Oh, well, I mean, she's like a lumen born and bred kind of like she's like live ride or die Lumen. So I guess she's probably working for Lumen or at least on their payroll somehow. Or
Right, but she has to be
she has
pretty high up
allegiances.
there if she's talking with Drummond, right? And she's like saying his name casually. That makes me
not
think
necessarily because
No? Yeah.
I mean it could have been that he was just looking for Harmony. Like so he called
Oh yeah.
Sissy
okay,
just
yeah.
like, hey, has Harmony has your niece been by?
Mm-hmm.
So then Cobel blames Sissy for killing her mother, which was essentially Sissy's sister.
Mm-hmm.
So she's saying that that Sissy killed her, and then Sissy slaps her in the face.
And I think do you think that's by getting her addicted to ether? Or
No,
introducing her to
she
ether?
says that she pulled the tube out.
Oh yeah, but
Like
she was.
Cobel said that Sissy pulled the tube
like
out.
specifically, not like why her health was failing. Yes.
Right.
But then she
Yeah.
says that her mom took it out, and we don't really know what the truth is.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume that her mom really did pull it out.
Right.
Because that just seems like like the type of thing that would happen in that instance.
Yeah.
And then Sissy slaps her, and then Sissy said that like it was really hard. She talks about living with, because apparently Sissy has lived with her sister for a long time in this state, and she said like you have no idea how hard it is to hear her wheezing, like just struggling to breathe. So
Yeah.
I'm at that point. She's like obviously she agreed with the fact that her mom pulled it out, but it also
Right.
makes sense as to why Cobel thinks that Sissy did it.
Yeah.
Like it kind of
Yeah, I mean, it
solidifies
definitely
that
to
in
me
her mind.
gave the air of like, I didn't get to say goodbye to my mom, and it's your fault. You should have kept her alive.
right. And she practically says that.
Yeah,
She's like, or not practically, she does say that because she's
Yeah.
like, I didn't even get to say bye to my mom
right.
before she died.
Yeah.
But then this is where we learned that Cobel went through the Wintertide Fellowship, which we found out about a couple episodes ago when Milchick was talking to Miss Wong about going
Yes.
through the fellowship. Which obviously is whatever raises people up to be some sort of leader in Lumen. And then Sissy is obviously still ride or die Lumen, so she tells Cobel to go back and beg for mercy.
Yeah.
And then again, Cobel insists that Sissy killed her mother. Then Cobel runs to another room, which looks like there's a little shrine there, because you know how Harmony had a shrine at her house for Lumen and with her
Right.
some of her mom's stuff on it. The house or the room that she's in when she's looking for that key has some of the similar things in it, because there are like those little the goat head, from like the waffle party.
Yeah.
The one that the dude was wearing. So all that's up there, like the four temperaments, is like they have like a little shrine to it, and that's where she finds the key in a little box. Then she goes. This is the weirdest. Some people deal with things in different ways.
Yeah.
But she gets the key. She goes in. She looks around for a minute, and then she lays down in the bed and puts the breathing tube in her mouth, and then she starts whimpering.
Yeah. It was hard to
and,
watch. It was
yeah.
like for multiple
Yeah.
reasons. Yeah. Yeah. It was. Yeah.
They were talking about, they had Patricia Arquette on for this episode in the podcast. And they were talking about this episode, and they were talking about the sound that she makes, like when she's whimpering and stuff. And they said
Yeah.
it broke everybody's heart on set. Yeah. Now, I do have a question. There was like some sort of container with like a yellow liquid. Was that
Yeah.
ether?
I don't know. I thought ether was like
Clear?
black. I thought, or like a.
Oh, I
don't know. I feel like I googled it after I watched the episode. Ether color.
it's colorless, so it's clear.
Ether colorless liquid with a ethereal odor. Ew. I guess that's why it's called
What's
ether.
ethereal?
Oh,
Yeah.
there's an official color called ether, but maybe that's what I was thinking of.
But anyway, I
Yeah,
saw
sorry,
that up
yeah.
there, and I was
Yeah.
wondering if that could have been some ether. Maybe they had ether in to like dull the pain of whatever she was going through.
Yeah, and maybe when it like oxidized or something, it turned that color. If it's like
Could have
yellow,
been, or maybe
yeah,
there was
it's old.
some medicine in it or something. But there was
Yeah.
also a necklace that was hanging down from it that had like a little yellow gem in it that was like the same
Yeah.
color.
Yeah, I kind of assumed that was her mom's necklace.
Right.
Yeah,
But my question is, why did they show it?
I don't know. Why'd she put her lips to it? It's like, I can't remember how I came across this. Again, I get recommended the weird stuff because I'm into the weird stuff. But it was a woman that was eating her husband's ashes, like,
I think
slowly
I heard about
over
something
time.
like that. Yeah.
They had a whole episode on like weird addictions on TLC about it. But
Right.
it's like it just makes me feel close to him, and your heart literally broke for her like it did for Cobel in that scene. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh man, yeah, this is gross, but grief
like people
makes you do
dealing-
weird things.
Different ways. Yeah, you want to feel close to him, so you do whatever you got to do. And in this instance, it was putting that breathing tube in her mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then she goes to sleep for hours. Like, what was Hampton doing? Well, I guess he was just so high he didn't even realize the passage of time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's just dead in the corner. The ether finally gone.
Well, that was my thought the whole time, was like, what was he doing out there for hours? Because like, if somebody's like, hey, can you give me a ride to my aunt's house? I'm like, sure, 20 minutes and we're out.
Yeah.
No, it's been like all day.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't seen her in who knows how long though. So
Right.
I think he's probably just like along for the ride, maybe.
Right. Well, I think I like to think that he was just high and he was just checked out in his truck, just like.
Yeah, probably. Why not? Don't do drugs, kids.
Okay, and then as she wakes up, as Cobel wakes up, you can hear the Hampton and Sissy arguing downstairs. They say a bunch of weird stuff. He runs upstairs, and then that's where he ends up telling Cobel that her mom hated Lumen.
Yeah.
But yeah, then this is where he's basically like, you want to get high?
Yeah.
So then he pours some ether on the rag. He huffs
Yeah.
it, gives it to her. She does it. That's when she's like, I haven't done this since I was 8. And then
It's a
they
wild
have-
thing to say about drugs.
Well, also she's like obviously 50 something. So
yeah, probably.
I mean, it's been like 40 something
Yeah.
years since she's
Yeah.
done it.
I guess she wasn't ever addicted, which is good.
But there's a really nice piece of cinematography right here where, do you know what an eye light is?
Not in cinematography.
So it's basically like you set a light like a distance away, but you set it so that it reflects off in their eye and then into the camera, and it creates a little dot in your eye that makes your eyes pop, so you can see them a lot better.
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just So what they did in this one though is they had like, I don't know where the light was coming from, but there was like a fire or something. And it was orange, but there was like this really awesome looking eye lights in both of their eyes. And that's just my little piece of production information for this episode, because
Rob's like,
I thought it looked
Yeah.
so good. And then
Yeah.
the contrast between the orange on their face and then the blue nighttime background behind them, just such a nice contrast.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then they're like staring into each other's eyes, and then they end up kissing. And this is where you finally realize that they are not related.
Hopefully not.
Right.
But again, nothing would surprise me.
Unless it's a Luke and Leia situation.
Yeah.
And then Harmony, like, I guess she thinks for a second, and then she realizes, she's like, oh yeah, my mother wouldn't have thrown my stuff away. So then that's when she goes out to that storeroom. She actually, while she's looking for it, she finds a yearbook that has the fact that she was in the Wintertide Fellowship with James Eagan. I'm guessing as like her instructor or something like that. And then that's how he was able to steal her ideas, probably. So what in that fellowship, what was she? Probably the same age as Miss Huang. So what, like 15, 16 years old?
Yeah, probably.
She came up with this stuff when she was 16 years old.
Yeah. Well,
after huffing
I
ether
think
when
Miss
she was a
Huang
child.
might actually be older. If she's in like college type.
Okay,
She's
so
in a college
20.
type environment. Yeah. Yeah.
18 to 20?
Yeah.
So still like 10 years after huffing ether for forever. She's like 18, 20 years old. She came up with like the craziest like medical biological procedure to be able to like mess with somebody's memories. Like you have to be very, very intelligent to be able to do something like that, especially at 20. Yeah, so it was inside a little trophy that she had gotten. It looked like it was James. I'm pretty sure it was James' head, James Eagan's head, and it was just stuffed into the bottom of that. And then she goes back inside, and then she ends up telling Sissy, her aunt, that Lumen basically just destroyed the town. They came in, used it for what they needed, and then just took all the resources and just left.
Left it to dust, something like that.
Left it like a husk, essentially.
Yes, yeah.
And then Sissy says, I had to look up what this meant because I'd heard the term before, but I didn't really know what it meant. Sissy says that Harmony owes fealty to the Eagans, which is essentially like loyalty. Like since they are your lord or whatever, then you owe it to them. And then she was very, very upset with that. That's when she screams, "My designs!" And then she starts rattling off, what is it? Something blueprints, code, base code, the overtime contingency, and then the Glasgow block.
Yeah.
So, and she came up with all that. That's when you're just like, holy crap, Harmony Cobel.
Yeah. That was the
invented Severance.
big moment of this episode. Yeah. It's like, oh, crap.
That right there was what basically the purpose of this whole entire episode, I think. Yeah. That, but also to show why Harmony is the way she is.
Yeah. Give her a little bit of humanity, because right now she's kind of comes almost across as like a clear villain outside of Lumen, but she's almost a villain because of Lumen. I mean, the severance process wasn't a great thing to invent, I guess, but I don't think she had bad intentions potentially.
Usually when things like that are created, they are misused by others, to those of power, to be able to like, for their own gain. And that's essentially what happened, I think, is that they took it from her. She made it for like maybe the whole like you can use it to like not have to worry about pain during surgery or recovery or something like that. And then the Lumen's like, what else can we do with it? Let's take it and bastardize it and destroy it. So yeah, basically that's where we learned that James stole her ideas. And then what did they say? They said if Harmony sought credit for this, she would be banished. I'm guessing from the Wintertide Fellowship, or just banished.
I didn't know what that meant either. I was like, banished from where? Earth? Like, I didn't know. Like,
you're going to Mars.
I didn't know what exactly that means. Like, banished from what? Like.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe they were the whole like Lumen's a family, and if you try to seek credit, you'll be banished from the family.
You'll be like excommunicated, like people do, like.
Yeah.
In some religions, yeah.
Yeah, because I guess so that makes a lot of sense. Because it's like she won't be part of this organization anymore.
Right. I mean, they already kind of kicked her out of Lumen. Well, and then they kind of invited her back. She kind of
kicked herself out because.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Helena was going to give her the stuff back, and then she's like, "I want to run the Severance floor," which that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
Because it's her baby, like she created it.
Right. Exactly. I mean, this is her process, and she doesn't get to run it. That's why I'm like.
Right. So she was running it, and then they took it away from her. I'm really looking forward to what they're going to do with her. Like, I feel like she's going to attack Milchick in episodes 9 or 10. Like, I feel like she's coming for him, and she's like, this is going to be my project, and I'm going to take it over. Or she's going to, like, shut the whole thing down. Yeah. So, I was listening to the podcast. I don't remember which episode it was. But they were talking about, or maybe it was an interview. They asked Ben Stiller if they knew the ending. Like, do they know how the whole show is going to end? And he said yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so he knows how it's going to end. So I'm glad that they know that. I'm just curious when they're going to get there. Because I did see on IMDb that season 3 has already been put in. At least the first episode of season 3.
Oh, wow.
So I'm pretty sure it's not going to end at the end of season 2. Unless somebody, because on IMDb, like anybody can.
I don't think that's possible at this point. Yeah.
You never know. What if Harmony comes in and just like tears it all down? She just ruins it all.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I feel like that'd be a little unsatisfying for me, though.
Right.
Yeah. I don't like her enough to care that much for her to get that moment. I need to like feel more right now.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I would love to see her have a redemption arc. Maybe she comes in and rescues Gemma.
Yes.
Like that would be cool.
This actually, Milchick is the bad guy, and all these other folks are. I started this, and I'm gonna finish it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, this is mine. They're trying to take it from me. They can't have it.
Yep.
Oh, I'm getting more excited. Okay.
Yeah, I want to watch 9, but I haven't watched the next episode. It is out, but I'm kind of waiting. I think I might just rewatch the whole season when it comes out. My fiance Benny still hasn't watched it, so I'm definitely gonna make him sit down and he's just gonna be like, it's one of those shows. It's fun to watch somebody that
Right.
they hasn't watched it, watch it.
Is that what he does when he watches stuff? Is that how he reacts?
Yeah, if it's like exceptionally like he jumps a lot, like ooh, like when we're watching stuff, he will get like scared or like like Gemma throwing the chair, like you said, scaring you in the last episode. That would probably get him. Like even if it's like a cartoon, if it's
Right.
like quiet and then all of a sudden like there's a punch or something like that, he'll like jump. So I feel like the
biggest
throw him
jump
for a loop.
scare that I've had in this show was when Mark was standing outside the car right after the overtime
Mm-hmm.
contingency. He was standing out in front of his house and Harmony's trying to leave. And he's like, what the F do you know? And
Mm. Yeah.
she's like sitting there quietly and then she starts
And then she
beating on the
just-
horn. Yeah, I literally jumped out of my chair. I was like, holy
Yeah.
crap, this scared
Yeah.
the crap out of me.
It
have you
reminded me of
seen,
someone trying to like what they say to do when you see a bear. You're supposed to like
Yeah,
be big,
be as
and,
big
like,
as you can
frightening,
be.
and
Yeah.
she's just like, "Wah," yeah.
Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah.
So I was watching that with a friend of mine, and the Red Wedding episode came up.
Oh god, it's so rough. I
And
stopped watching it.
I
for
hadn't
a
seen
while.
it yet. So
You
he
hadn't?
literally,
Oh.
I hadn't seen it at that time. I've watched the whole series now.
Mm-hmm.
But my friend watched me watch that episode. That was the whole reason he wanted
He
me to
just
come
wanted
over
to-
for that episode. Yeah, he wanted to see me. And I was like,
I just want to watch your reaction.
what is happening?
I'm like, oh my, yeah, because it's at first it's like Rob gets shot with the arrows, right? And
Spoilers.
you're like, oh
Spoilers,
my
guys.
god.
Don't
Oh,
listen to Mykah,
sorry.
spoilers.
Don't listen to this if you haven't watched Game of Thrones. And you're like, oh my god, no, not Rob Stark. And then his wife.
And the baby.
And it's just so brutal.
Yeah.
And then like,
And
oh
then
my
his
god,
mom.
they're putting Caitlyn, and then and her that scene where she just
Yep.
No, I literally was like, F this sucks. Like, yeah.
That's
hated
where
it.
that was the first time I had ever seen a show where they were just like, we're gonna off all the main characters.
Yeah.
You,
In one
you know,
scene,
like
within 5
if-
minutes, within 2 minutes, maybe. Yeah.
If none of them had read the books yet, like
Yeah.
in the reading for that, they were like, "Wait, I'm getting fired?"
Yeah, right. And then, oh my god, so it's yeah,
Right.
yeah, no, that sucks bad.
Okay, so back to this version of the world. At this point, Sissy being the ride or die. I don't know what else to call it. Ride or die, like the Lumen.
She's an OG. She's sticking.
Yeah,
With him.
she's an OG. She takes the notebook. Actually, she had the notebook. She tried to throw it in the fire. Luckily, Harmony saved it. And then Harmony tells Sissy that she hopes she dies as painfully as her mother. And it's like
Evil.
that's harsh. But then I think at this point, this is where Sissy tells her that her mom is the one who pulled her own tube out. Which is essentially, if she was in as much pain, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
just like, I'm
yeah.
done. I'm done with this. And this is where Sissy is fully bought into Lumen. Oh yeah, this is where she calls Harmony a coward, and she's filled with malice and resentment. And then Harmony runs out, gets in the truck, takes off, and he stays there. I guess to deal with whoever's coming in the car, maybe to stall him a little bit. And then this is where Hampton, he says, this is a funny line. It's just kind of like one of those, it's going to sound good in a movie trailer.
Yeah.
Where he's like, what does he say? Come tame these temperaments.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then as Harmony's driving away, Devin calls again. And this time she actually answers. Harmony answers. And then Devin tells her that Mark is reintegrated. And then Harmony says, put Mark on. And then she hands the phone to Mark. And then she says, tell me everything. And then that's that's the end of it. I read a couple things where people were like, Mark would not talk to Cobel. He wouldn't.
No. I mean,
But he did. He did. So
Yeah.
did Devin convince him to? Or did he like, after the whole thing with Ragabi and he's like all messed up and he's seeing what's going on, does he finally decide to open up and talk to her? Like,
yeah. I'm very curious because I haven't seen the next episode. I don't know if there's any info on that.
Oh no, I'm not talking about episode 9. Like I'm talking about like right now. Like,
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts? Why do you think he actually ended up talking to her?
I don't know. I know
'Cause-
when people like are panicked or think they're dying, they make decisions that they wouldn't ordinarily make. So I don't know if it was out of, but I feel like Mark doesn't care about dying, and I feel like he's even alluded to that.
He might now that he
Yeah.
knows that Gemma's alive.
But yeah, I think he knows that maybe Cobel isn't the enemy that he might have thought her to be.
But what would have changed his mind though? Because like, essentially, all of this was happening while Mark was asleep on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like episodes 7 and 8 basically happened at the same time.
Gotcha.
Or actually,
Yeah.
well, the end of 7, because
Yes.
he wakes up on the
Yes.
couch at the end of 7,
Yes.
and then in 8, at the very beginning of 8, is when Devin calls him or calls her. So I'm guessing that the first call was when he passed out, and then the third call when she finally answers is when Mark woke up, or maybe right after he woke up because they maybe had a discussion about it.
I'm like, I don't know. Maybe he's not integrated, and it was any Mark. Like I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
Well, because
reason.
like, Mark, Audi Mark, even though he's reintegrated and everything, he still knows because his sister has told him that Cobel pretended to be the lactation specialist. She pretended to be his neighbor.
Yes.
So he knows that she's dishonest. So like
Right.
something, I guess maybe the fact that he almost died and he had a little stroke or whatever, maybe that changed his mind about
Yeah.
wanting to talk to her. Because when Cobel
mean,
answers,
He knows that she knows more than he does, and I think at that point it's kind of just like you're desperate for help. Sometimes you have
Right.
to work with the enemy.
what is it? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah. It's
So
not that
I-
situation, but yeah, I hate that saying. It's so terrible.
I wonder if maybe he like, since he's been reintegrating more and he like has more of these visions of Gemma, maybe he knows that like after Devin kind of explained to him a little bit, maybe he knows that Cobel is his only option to be able to get in there, to get to
Right.
Gemma. I think all of his decisions now are just going to revolve around Gemma.
Right. I mean, yeah, I would agree. I mean, even when he was like filtering in and out of like being conscious, it seems like when he's knocked out, he's remembering what we're seeing in episode 7. Or at least that's kind of how I almost perceived it.
Oh, I
Like
gotcha.
some of the
Okay.
scenes, like almost like they were shot from like his POV.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
so not obviously because like Gemma's alone, but I mean, yeah.
Right.
It's
Well,
It's
it's just showing. But yeah, I mean, there's really not much to think about this episode because like there wasn't a whole lot of like intrigue and
Right.
stuff going on. It was more of just like, here's what happened with Harmony in her
Yeah.
past.
Yeah, here is some of her backstory. She's actually a human, you guys. She isn't some terrible, crazy person that's just
Right.
like, I love Lumen for no reason.
Right.
Like-
Yeah, but she started.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
the one- well,
no
no,
wonder she's
Lumen-
pissed off and like, yeah.
Right.
It justified her being the way she is for me almost, like, honestly.
Right. Yeah, a little bit. It gives a lot of perspective and context as to why she's acting the way
Yeah.
she was. That's really it for this episode.
Yeah.
What?
You know what we didn't do last time? You didn't
What's
ask
that?
me what I thought was going to happen next episode. Which
No,
actually
I know.
works for this one. Because I actually
That's what I was getting ready to
watch
ask you.
9. Oh, I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Beat you to the punch. Yeah.
So, what do you think is going to happen? What's your prediction? Give me your prediction for the next
I've
episode,
seen
and then your,
I've avoided every spoiler possible.
right.
So I have no idea. I'm like, realistically, are we gonna get a Milchek episode? I'm kind of curious. Like,
Let's just
ever.
following each character.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. But like my Zach Cherry.
That's what I was
take
going to
will
ask you for.
be- Yeah. This is if I'm in the mind of Zach Cherry. Let's see. Cobel and Hampton. Maybe they go to the Hamptons. They take that breathing tube with them. They fill it up with alcohol. Chug, and they just party the day away. They don't even need ether. They can just get all that good. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
That is so disgusting.
Yeah,
'Cause
my mom died soaking on this.
That
Keg
breathing
stand.
tube, it's full of phlegm
Oh yeah.
and dead skin cells.
Oh yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, let's just drink out of it. What's that called? Where they pour the beer in a funnel and they drink it out of a hose?
I
What's
have
that?
no
Some
idea.
kind of
I never did
some
that.
kind of shot.
When everybody
I've seen
chugs.
it.
When
I don't
it's like
remember what
they're
it's called.
upside down and they're drinking the
No, that's a keg flip.
That's a keg flip. Okay.
Yeah, or keg stand. I'm talking about like they have a hose and the funnel on the end of it and they're pouring beers into it. I forgot what that's called. But anyway, that's essentially what I'm imagining
Yeah.
that they're doing with that
Yeah.
breathing tube.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's just gonna be friends and everything's gonna be great.
Perfect. And then that's the season finale.
Yes, yes. What a way to end it. Can you imagine, like, people would just the uproar it would cause? Being on Good Morning America. What the heck, Severance?
It just ends
is
with like
this?
a melon bar.
Yeah. That sounds fun, though. I kind of want to, like, have a Severance-themed party. I feel like we should do that. We should get more of our friends into it and just, like...
Deviled eggs, melons, waffles.
Yes, cut everybody's face into a melon head, and we can pose with
Oh
our
my
melon
gosh.
heads.
That'd be so expensive.
I don't know
You're gonna hire an
how
artist?
easy it would be to carve a melon. I'm like a good snow sculpture maker, so I feel like I could do I mean, it wouldn't actually look like you guys, but it would look like a person. I do my best.
You're like, I'm pretty sure there are two eyes on that
Imagine
thing.
trying to carve curly hair into a melon.
Oh my
the
gosh.
fine
You
amount
just-
of
I would just go buy a wig and put it on it.
That's actually even better. Why not? Just
Or just collect all your little hairs that fall out and just
Yeah, you can
have
make a wig out of those. Yeah. Somebody
you have
could
so
clone
much
me.
hair.
Somebody could clone me easily. Like all I would
Right.
have had to do is interact with hug you. People would be like, "Oh, I was putting my clothes on and I saw this huge long curly hair," and I'm like, "Oh,
Yep.
Mykah's hair must have come off on me."
I find them all the time.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. I can't even imagine like how bad our carpet is in our living room. I vacuum it like once a month, which don't judge me. It's
Right.
just that's how often I actually notice it really needs it. But
That's funny.
then I realized I definitely needed it more because my hair is everywhere. You literally make a little toupee.
I'm just surprised you're not bald yet.
That either, like in the shower. Oh God, I feel bad for anybody that used to live with me before I like learned that I need like a hair catch-all in my.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm
That's
really
crazy.
sorry about anybody that lived with me and watched this. Because, yeah, it's like an actual problem. I have to take the hair out every single time, even with the drainer.
That's
Like,
nuts.
or the shower won't run because the hair clogs the
Wow.
actual. Yeah, it's insane. It's ridiculous.
This is hair from your head though, not your body hair.
Yes, it's head hair. Yeah, I'm surprisingly I'm one of those people with the blonde body hair, so you can't even really see it. But
Right.
yeah, it's insane. It's really
How do
annoying.
we
Actually,
always end up talking about hair?
it's just.
Severance hair
I love
watch.
hair. Severance hair wash. Yeah. Put like a wig with like on the goat's hair wash.
And be
Just put like
like,
Kelly's hair on a goat, Mark's hair
Right.
on a goat, Irving's cute little curly hair on a goat.
Milchick's hair on a goat.
Love it. Love it.
All right, so that'll do it for this episode. There's really nothing else to talk about. I mean, that's really all that
Yep.
happened. So this
Yep.
one didn't need to be.
Will we
very
see
in-depth.
goats before the end of the series, the end of the season? Will we see more goats?
Man, I hope so. I'd like to see. What is it, Agatha?
Agatha, not Agatha. You're doing it. Gwendolyn
no.
Christie.
No, I was
Gwendolyn
doing it on
Christie.
purpose.
Oh,
Agatha
okay.
Christie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just picking on you. I really hope we see her again.
Yeah, me too.
And then there's a connection to Game of Thrones right there with Brienne.
Yeah,
of Tarth.
yeah, Brianna Darth. Yeah. She
but
also
yeah.
excellent taste.
She what?
I said she also has excellent taste for like her projects that she chooses to do.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
gotcha. I was like, tasting what? We were just talking about hair, so I thought you were talking about hair. And I'm like, are you talking about when she cut it all off for Game of Thrones or what?
Yeah. I don't love Brienne of Tarth's look, but I think what is it the guys say? Death by snoo. If you like that, I think she'd be great. Benny references that sometimes. Like, do you wish I was like an Amazon woman and I could just like crush you? Because I feel like the more I'm on the line, I feel like the more I realize there's a lot of men that are into that. I'm just like,
On
okay.
the line?
Put it out there on the line.
When I'm online.
No,
Did I
it's
say on
funny
the
because
line?
Yeah, you said on the line, but I said that a while ago in a couple episodes ago.
Really?
And in the movie, The Internship,
Yeah.
what's his name? Have you seen The Internship?
Oh yeah.
It's Owen Wilson and what's the other dude's name?
Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, Vince
right?
Vaughn.
Yeah.
So he's the one who's like, yeah, you take a picture and you put it on the line. So then I went and I took that and I put it into that episode where I say
Yeah.
it and then he goes,
Yeah.
you put it on the line, and then it cuts out of it.
I
thought
feel like
that
I
was
did.
funny.
Did I say on the line?
Yeah.
Maybe I just stuttered.
All right, so that'll do it for this episode. Do you want me to do it
Yeah.
this time, or do
Yeah, you do
should
it. You haven't done it
continue to
right
do it?
yet.
Not,
Yeah, you just kind of
All right.
like. Please.
I'm gonna channel
Gemma.
Miss Casey.
Channel Gemma. Yeah. Oh no, it's Miss Casey. That's right. Gosh dang it.
Please try to enjoy each episode equally.
Namaste.
Chikai
I
Bardo.
feel like that's what she should say. Chica Bardo. Oh yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
And cut.